everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Constance the Reader, and today I'm going to be doing the small booktuber tag 2.0. So if you are not new to booktube, everybody knows the small booktuber tag. You do that as like your first video when you start booktube, at least I did. But then there was a 2.0 one, and guess what? This is the second year that I've been on booktube. So I'm filming this on the 10th. I will be posting this on the 11th of August in 2020. I'm in my first booktube video. So I thought, fitting, why not? Let me do this one. So I'm very excited. I started it in 2020. I'm really glad I did it. I'm still having fun. So yes. Oh, I don't know if y'all heard that thunder. It is raining in Virginia. So if you did, I apologize. If not, forget I said anything. So let's get straight into question number 1. So what genres would you like to see talked about more on booktube? So I like a lot of the stuff that I watch on booktube in general. I feel like I followed a lot more people now that I'm on booktube than I did when I was just watching it. But I do feel like I see more people with nonfiction book recommendations on Book Talk more than I see on booktube. So I do feel like there should be more nonfiction on booktube. There may be some more channels on here that I just haven't discovered, but the vast majority of the ones that I follow they're not heavy on nonfiction. That's fine, read what you want, but I would like to see more nonfiction on booktube. I think I read a decent amount, so I hope that for those of you who watch my channel, you've gotten some good nonfiction recommendations for me. Question 2, what do you feel is the best way to make friends on booktube? So I feel like I started making friends when I joined Book Twitter, and I feel like I've also been able to do it on Bookstagram. So I made 2 separate accounts, not my personal accounts obviously, that are just strictly for like a book related content, a little bit of personal stuff. But I do think that I've made a lot of friends that way because, you know, maybe you do like a follow train on Instagram, or there was a smaller booktuber on here too named Lucy, really amazing person. She and I became friends on Twitter. She has since gotten off of booktube, but she created a community on Book Twitter where it's like a little account where a bunch of people were invited and we would post our videos and like them. And basically it was a way for us to have like a guaranteed like view or like or comment, which I think was really cool. And then from there, I feel like I've just met some other people. I don't have like a clique, and that's not a judgment. I really am envious of people who like have their go-to, this is the person I'm gonna do a readathon with. This is the person I'm gonna do a reading sprint with. I envy those people. I think they're really cool. I wish I had that. I'm not there yet. That's okay. But I definitely think, you know, booktube is great if you can also have some other like Book Talk, Bookstagram, or Book Twitter. That's a good way to make friends. And then also leave comments, join reading sprints, you know, kind of get your name out there, and then maybe you can get involved with a reading sprint as well. Question 3, what do you enjoy the most about making booktube videos? So the first part of this might be a little vain, but I like rewatching my videos because I love the sound of my voice and I find myself very funny. I'm in love with myself. It's just the truth. But the other part is I really like how I feel like I've gotten better about editing videos. I've done more vlogs, which I've really enjoyed, like putting together and then rewatching. Like I said, I find myself very funny, so I go back and watch some of the things that I said about some books because I just get to laughing. But the editing part, like I really was nervous when I started booktube about my videos not looking great. It's really not that big of a deal, but I feel like I have gotten better, and I really enjoy how far I've come with that. Question 4, what do you least look forward to when making booktube videos? Really it's really the thumbnails. I'm so bad about remembering to keep all the books that I did a wrap up of in a stack after I'm done filming a video. Oftentimes, like the wrap ups, they're not always very quick, and I have my book stack beside me. Then I'm done with the video and I'm like, Okay, I'm just so used to being in the habit of putting books away, so it's so bad remembering to take the thumbnail before I put everything away, because then I either have to take everything back out, and I'm reading about 20 to 30 books a month. So that's a lot of books I have to take back out of the shelves, or I have to use an old picture off of Canva because I'm just not in the mood. I just don't want to take a video. I just don't want to take a picture again. So thumbnails are the #1 least favorite thing for sure. Question 5, what videos other than tags, TBRs, wrap-ups, reviews, and recommendations would you want to see more of? For myself? I'm not sure if that's towards me or to other people. Personally, I love all those videos. That's the vast majority of the videos that I do. I really like vlog videos though. Reading vlogs are really fun. I'm the type of person who really enjoys like seeing like, I like clean talk. I like moving talk or videos about people moving and cleaning. So any type of video that somebody wants to make where they're moving and they're packing and then they're organizing their stuff and then they're cleaning their stuff, I will watch it. I don't necessarily want to make videos like that because it's a lot easier to watch someone do it and to film myself and then edit that. So bless y'all who do it. But yeah, those are the vast majority of the ones that I make. Do I want to see more of that from other people? Sure, absolutely. Do what you want. I want to watch it. Vlogs are fun. Reading vlogs are fun as well. Question 6. Ooh. What advice would you give to a booktuber that has just created their channel? My #1 piece of advice, and it's the #1 piece of advice that I saw over and over again and that I took and that I recommend you taking, is use what you have. Going back to the thing I said about being so self-conscious about my videos not looking great versus people who essentially have been doing it for a long time, you know. I am so glad I did not buy, you know, a cool expensive camera to do these. I can do it on my iPhone. Literally, I had a 12 Pro Max. The video's nice. I just changed the settings. I have a MacBook. I use iMovie. I could use Adobe Premiere, but iMovie is just simple and I know it. So I just use what I have. This is an old tripod that my husband used to use. I really haven't bought anything special for the stuff that I do to make videos. So I would definitely recommend use what you have. Don't feel like you have to go out and buy special equipment. Do some of these videos that the bigger booktubers use look amazing? Yes, they've got the microphone. They've got like the focus, like the autofocus, and like everything's blurry behind them and it looks so nice and everything's like aesthetically pleasing. Amazing, 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 amazing. I'm not making the same money as them off of this. So why am I gonna spend money for stuff when I can use my iPhone? My iPhone is fine. And I would say the same thing to you. Start with what you have, take it slow. In the end, yeah, my first video isn't my favorite video, but at the same time, it's definitely not that bad. And then the other part of that is, you know, I have met so many really, really cool people who were just starting out. And this is no judgment. My #1 thing is, if you can't do booktube anymore or you can't create content, don't. Whether it's because you fell out of love with it or because you're too busy, do what makes you happy. Don't keep doing something and then end up hating it, right? There's a lot of people that I followed who had just started out like me and they don't make any content anymore, and that's totally fine. I don't know if they spent money on a really cool camera, but I know if it were me, I would be very frustrated with myself if I started this booktube channel and then like 6 months into it, I didn't want to do it anymore. And then I just wasted that money. Again, that's not a judgment of anyone. I just think that it's good to just use what you have and don't feel like you have to keep up with the bigger YouTubers because they have the money, they get stuff for free, and that's amazing. I don't think that'll ever happen with me, and that's okay. My iPhone is fine. And then any other advice? You know, if you're not having fun anymore, don't do it. The reason why I keep making booktube videos is because I really have fun. Like, I'm enjoying talking about the stuff that I'm reading. I think it even encourages me to read more. And because I started a booktube channel, like I said earlier, I've actually started to read things that I didn't read when I was just watching it. my first unhaul video was a ton of books that I bought just because of a big booktuber. Some I ended up really liking, some I really didn't, and some I never even read. I just got them because this person recommended them, and they weren't even a genre that I liked. So do yourself a favor, just have fun with what you're doing, and also don't feel like you have to keep up with everybody else, okay? I have so much more manga now than I did when I was watching booktube, and I really, really love reading and collecting it. If I were just basing it off of everything that I watched from booktube like in 2015, I would have never really started collecting manga because no one I was following at the time talked about it. So if you're not having fun anymore, stop. You know, don't force yourself to do something you don't like. If this ever becomes boring or too much to me, I'll just stop, and that's okay. I've done it for 2 years and I've enjoyed myself. If I keep doing it for another 2 years, that's even better. I'm liking it. But also don't feel like you have to buy things just because someone else suggested it, because one of the other things I noticed when I was really wanting to start booktube were all the videos of people who were talking about why they stopped doing booktube. And the biggest takeaway from that was people felt like they had to buy books and genres that they didn't really like, but because they wanted views, they bought them. So they spent a ton of money on a genre that they didn't like because they felt like, well, if I want viewers, I have to read the popular books. Then they ended up with a bunch of books that they didn't like to read, and they just spent all this money that they didn't really need to spend for something they didn't like to read. You know, my reading tastes have changed a lot now from when I was just watching it in 2015 versus making videos, and that's a really cool evolution that I like to acknowledge. But yeah, don't buy stuff just because like I said, bigger booktubers, they're getting a lot of this stuff for free. There's some books that I got from publishers over here. I didn't ask for them, but you know, that was really great. I've gotten approved for some books on NetGalley. That's awesome. Some of them I didn't really like. Some of them I regret that I asked for that. But you know, I'm not spending money on books that I don't like and that I want to get rid of. If I were to do an unhaul video now, I wouldn't have a lot of books that I wanted to unhaul because I like what I have. I'm getting so much better about buying things that I like. Question 7. What are some qualities or traits that you look for when it comes to watching other booktubers? Now that I've been on booktube, like had my own channel, I actually like to follow small creators more than I like to follow big creators. So really anybody that's new coming out, I want to follow you because you're new, because when I was new, most of the people who followed me in the beginning were also new, which was awesome. Some traits, obviously I want to follow you if we have similar tastes. I follow a few people that they are like manga readers and collectors, but you don't see them like, you know, I don't know how you would describe it. It's like those people are a part of booktube, but they're not like the main people you think of when you think of booktube, right? You might think of Peru's Project, Reagan, and that's really the only person I can think of for some reason. I'm not sure why. Olivia Reads a Latte. I don't know. Those are the first two that come up into my mind. You might think of them. They read fantasy, romance, blah blah blah. But and I can't remember his name. I feel so bad. I'll put it somewhere. You might not put him in the booktube category in the way that like most people are watching booktube, if that makes sense. So I want to follow people who have something similar to me. I want to follow people who are also small creators because I think that that's important, you know, to support them. And I don't know, they just have something, I don't know, interesting about them. They don't all have to be like the cookie cutter, like YA. And that's not me saying anything about YA. I like YA. I really like young adult fantasy. It's very, very fun. I like it. But you know, sometimes you can notice that a few creators that you're following, they're all talking about the same book. So I like to follow people who are reading horror. That's a big thing. I really like people on booktube who do horror, especially on Book Talk, because I feel like when you go into Barnes & Noble and Books A Million. The fact that Stephen King takes up like half, if not more than half, of the horror section, I get it, it's Stephen King. But I don't feel like I can ever go into a bookstore like that and find variety. I feel like it's like a needle in a haystack finding something that's not Stephen King that I would see on Book Talk, if that makes sense. So horror booktubers, manga booktubers, smaller booktubers, that's the kind of stuff that I look for, that I want to follow. And the last question, what's a hobby besides reading and writing that people on booktube might not know you have? Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't even say that it's big. I'm starting to get more into playing video games with my husband. So we did do a couple stream for my birthday earlier this year where we played horror games. And for everybody who subscribed to my husband, he bought me a book. So I got 21 books. It was so nice. Very, very fun. Thank you, everyone. Everybody who subscribed, you are amazing. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so video games, I guess. Honestly, my biggest hobby is reading. I don't do really anything other than that that you would consider a hobby. So I guess playing video games really would be the next best thing. Yeah, collecting the books, but that's the kind of reading. But anyway, that's it. That's Small Booktuber Tag 2.0. I think at some point I started saying the numbers for the questions wrong. Forgive me if I did. It is what it is. You know, I don't have the numbers on here for some reason when I printed this out. Don't ask me why. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like the video. If you like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know what it is. You know what to do. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for those who are subscribed to me. Thank you for those who have subscribed to me for these whole 2 years. I really appreciate it. For those who, you know, interact with me, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Mom, Dad, and Tiffany, and my husband and my friends who follow me as well. You guys are amazing. And yeah, if you're new here, please subscribe. Let me know, what do you think of my questions or my answers? Let me know in the comments. So have a good day. Goodbye.